G'day, Nick. How are you?
Very good, David. It's nice to see you this morning.
Are you really,
And
really very good?
yeah, well, I've got COVID, but apart from that, I'm very good. I think I'm on my fourth day of isolation, fourth or fifth
Okay.
day of isolation.
Oh, good.
The Asian champs turned into a bit of a super spreader event in the end. I think
Yeah,
by the
it did.
last round, 50% of players were unpaired because they couldn't play for one reason or another. So it was a bit of a shame. Luckily, that happened near the end of the tournament. So already had seven very good games at least
Yes.
before that happened. But I had an
Yeah, no
interesting
good.
few weeks actually. Went to the South Island
On the
champs
other
in
side of the
Invercargill,
country.
3 weeks away in the coldest week for 50 years down there. I was out jogging at 6 a.m. every morning. No
And got
wonder I got
lost, got
sick.
lost.
Last went the wrong way, and that was a very good tournament at South Island. It was wonderful in Invercargill. We very well organised.
Yeah.
Lots of I think there were about 70 players down there, and lots of strong juniors. Lots from the North Island came down.
And in
Very good.
Invercargill
A lot of
ones.
fun. Yeah, lots of Invercargill juniors and up and coming juniors from around the South Island. And it was a lot
Yeah.
of fun. The venue was very good. The tournament hall was excellent. Hotel itself, lots of cheap meals they were putting on. You could get burger and chips for like $12, and it was great. Loved it down there. It was really enjoyable. Ended up sharing the title of South Island champ, but although the tournament itself
Two
was won
others.
by the North Islanders, it was North Islanders dominating it. Very strong players. Ben Haig and Felix was there. Lots of others. David Vincenti, Maltese champion. And along with the strong South Islanders, it was really only Lukey that was missing from the
Yeah, yeah.
South Island contingent, which probably helped to secure first place.
Yeah, yeah. It would. So I'm going to share my screen and we're just going to have a look at there's all my backdrop. Yeah, very
What are we
exciting.
looking at here?
So we're looking at the wrong one actually.
That
We're going to
looks
look
like
at
a
this one.
North Island game.
Yeah, so we're going to look at this game here.
Oh,
We don't
this
want to
goes, yeah.
spend too long on this.
I needed to get something in this game to have a chance of retaining the South Island Championship, and black against Felix was not really a place where I wanted to be. So I had very little chances. I felt he smashed me in the New Zealand champs last year, so I wasn't overly confident. So, but it turned into a very strange game. In fact, it's the worst game I played all tournament, but I got a draw because of a crazy finish to it. It's unbelievable. I
Yeah,
think it's only about 10 moves, isn't it? 10 or 12 moves.
yeah, it
But
is. It's
so if you quickly flick through to the first few moves, I'll show you what happens. So Queen's Gambit accepted. This is the one I normally play. And yeah, white normal. Well, next move's normal as well. And then I take the pawn. This is all standard theory. And then white played knight f3 here, which isn't the most common move. The most common move is to take the pawn. And here I know that black can take on e3 and get away with white's bishop f7 check. But what I forgot was that I'm supposed to play bishop b4 here before I take the pawn on e3.
yeah,
Because it makes a difference. So we'll see what happens after my move, which is a bit of a disaster because he's got bishop f7 here, which is fine after bishop b4 for several reasons. One, the f8 square's cleared, and the queen ends up on d2 in that one. And but here he's got queen b3. So we'll see. I've got to play king e7, otherwise I lose my queen. Now in the other line, if I'd played bishop b4, he'd have had nothing better than to take on d8. But here he's got a much better move, which is queen to b3, which pretty much winning by force, this move. Although it's not easy to see the winning method because it's quite messy position, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree.
But,
and you
I
played
didn't
knight
really know. I
h6.
played knight h6, which means he either looks like he either has to move his bishop or protect it further. I think anyway. I mean, he might still have winning moves, something like even knight c3 or bishop takes e3. But
yeah.
black should be all right. I think if I take the bishop, I think I should be all right.
Knight g5, and
Now
so
this
here
over protects the
Nimzovic
bishop,
term
doesn't it?
over protection.
So I didn't really know what to do here. I just felt like white must be winning here. He's a very strong player, 2,300 odd on FIDE rate on New Zealand rating. So, who knows? Knight c3 or So I took that one.
And king goes to the Luft square on f1.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to take it. I think I've got tactics. It's a few weeks since the game, but he has to be a little bit careful. But king F1.
I think you've got queen g4 straight away, I think.
Yeah,
and
queen
bishop
d4
e3
and knight
and
g4.
queen f6 check. Or, knight g4 check. Yeah, that looks quite good. King f1.
A wee bit careful.
We don't want to spend too long on this game, though, because even though you did get first equal in this tournament.
Bishop f5.
For the South Island.
Now.
Yeah, bishop f5, the best square on the planet.
The d3, see, I'm threatening bishop d3 and stuff if he does nothing. So now we'll whip through the next few moves because he repeats the position.
Yeah, he does. Queen e3.
Got to go there. Got to go there. Got to go there. He goes there. Go there.
You could go king d6.
Yeah. And he went back again. I went back. And now,
he
spent an hour. He spent an hour here.
And now,
wondering whether to go queen f3. Well, all up it was about an hour with all his. Whether to decide to take the draw with threefold repetition or not. And I think a lot of people watching here were wondering why
you don't play queen e5 check.
Queen e5 check.
It looks pretty devastating, doesn't it?
He spent a long time.
And now obviously after that bishop e6 check.
There must have been something that he didn't like. But there wasn't.
It's hard to see it.
The computer thinks it's winning for white. I think what it was.
It's completely winning for white.
Yeah, after queen e5, king d7.
And bishop e6
Bishop e6.
And it's over.
And I moved my king away.
To where?
I think to c6. I think he was worried that I was going to. I think he was worried I was going to be able to play queen e1 and knight g4. Because if I play queen g1, king f2, then knight g4 forks his queen and his king.
We have to spend a whole session on this game alone, Nick. But anyway, that was a draw.
It wins. He went back to e3 and took a draw, but queen e5 does win. White. He's like
you've got
he's like king, 5 pawns.
You've just said king c6, and I'll just
if you turn your engine on now, it'll show you the line. You can. Do
I think I'll leave that for the watchers and the viewers.
I got very lucky. I think.
Okay.
Because I am lost here, but I obviously confused him with my big mistake. But I don't know what he saw that stopped him playing e5. He would have definitely looked at it, but it wins. But the fact he didn't see it, I was lucky. Then I had to wait for 2 hours to check on other results.
Yeah.
And I was lucky again because if Quentin had won, he would have been outright South Island champion, but he lost.
Good.
Somebody else messed up as well. So all the results kind of went in my favour. But
good.
It's the other tournament we want to talk about, I think, really, isn't it?
Okay, so we're going to do that now.
Seniors.
Going to switch this one off.
But that was very crazy episode.
This is FIDE Master is black.
So the Asian seniors, I lost in the first round against Kulashko.
Yeah.
And then that's the only game I lost. I think I won 3 games and drew 3 games, all against strong players. And this is my game from round 3 against Leonard McLaren, which I felt was my best game, in that I was very nearly losing it. And I managed to pull out what I thought was a pretty good combo. So I missed his.
So you're saying this is a Botvinnik?
H3, yeah, H3. I'm not sure about H3 here because
there's English opening, King's Indian variation, King's English variation.
H3 is a normal, common thing in this. It's not Bishop G4, etc. But if you notice, we've got a completely symmetrical position here.
Yes,
we both had
almost
the same position,
except for the H3 pawn.
Good as I played H3, but I was thinking Rook B1 probably would have been the better move because it's more active. And if he's going to keep copying me by Rook B8, then
it ends up at a slight edge for white.
I'm ahead of the game.
Yeah, it ends a slight edge as white.
I get the first chance to do something, but by playing H3, it gives him the first chance to do something.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I mean, it does stop him playing Bishop G4. So he's played Rook B8, which I was thinking of playing. But now he's
the
race for B5 is now in his favour. You know, he gets first stab at it. Although he never did it, surprisingly.
He played F5. Again. That's a very good move.
F5. Again, he's first off the blocks, all because of H3. It's almost like I'm playing black now and he's playing white. So I copied him again. And these positions here, they're very tricky, aren't they? Because they're very hard to calculate and to know when to liquidate in the center and which pawn to take, when to play knight D5, D4, when to play B4. You know, it's tricky, difficult. So I just copied him, basically. He went there, I went there. What I do know is white normally takes on F5. And the other thing is there's a general rule that you only put your knight onto D5 once your opponent's played Bishop E6. That's because it can't be taken so easily. It can't be taken by the knight because it forks the bishop and knight.
You know all these things, I don't.
That's just one of the rules.
Just play them.
Like you only take on F5 once the knight on E7's not there to take back. So it's best for black to take back with a knight.
Yeah, it would look like that to me. Especially D4 square and G3 for white problem.
So see, I went knight D5 now because he can't take with the knight. Here he's threatening. This is another thing with H3. Now I've got to waste the move with King H2.
I agree.
Because otherwise my H pawn is going to be under attack.
Now knight D4 is an accuracy according to Stockfish 14.
Yeah, if I was him, I'd have been going for B5, either straight away or after A6. Because he can do it before he can do it before I can, and it opens up another front. That's probably what the computer would have been saying, to go for B5.
Yeah, B5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not A6,
A6.
Well, I probably would have done it.
Does it not? Well, it doesn't know everything, does it? Right. So. But so I thought I've got to whip it off, haven't I? Really?
Do you? Probably.
Well, I don't want it hanging around.
Yeah, it's on in your camp.
Yeah. So now,
no complaints.
So now I'm thinking what to do now. You know, B4. At least now I can play B4 myself, can't I? And it potentially weakens a few squares, doesn't it? Like the C3 square and.
But you're surrendering the center. Surrender.
I can't remember. Well, not surrendering it. I've got a plan. My plan here is to play Bishop G5. Because the one thing that I have done that he hasn't is played H3, and he hasn't played H6. He's got away with not playing it, but it's a weakness. I can play Bishop G5 is actually quite a good move.
Okay. And so here comes Bishop G5, and
it
gets
and it's a bit of a problem for him. Yeah, because it forces him to do something.
So he got COVID on the sort of like the second last. Did you get to play Gary, or
no? I was due to play him on round one. I was 15 minutes before I was due to play him. I had to rush off and get a rat test. And so I couldn't play him, which is unfortunate because it pretty much won him the tournament. You probably would have won anyway, but
probably
he got a free point because I couldn't.
But I keep mentioning this. That I've got a plus score with him.
I don't know if they could have delayed the pairings.
Right.
Because the pairings had already been done, and there were 4 people didn't turn up, so 4 people didn't get opponents. So
yeah,
I don't know what the rules are, whether they could have redone the pairings or not. Obviously, probably not by the sound of it.
Okay, so shall we move on?
Yeah, let's crack on. So he took with a bishop, which, I don't know, really. He did get a nice square for that night. He actually started doing really well, actually. I was getting quite... I didn't know what to do around this point, because...
It feels a little bit sort of... for me, it feels a little bit sort of... a wee bit awkward for...
I was worried about his knight
going to I do like his knight.
I was worried about his knight going to f7, and my bishop's got no retreating squares. You see,
yeah. So I'm looking at that bishop, and I'm just going. It sort of feels like it's hanging out there, and my experience is that like now Queen D2's happened, so you can just go straight here, can't you, to H6? Can't you just?
I guess I could have done that, I guess,
straight away. This is bad bishop. This is your bad bishop. Elementary stuff.
Yeah, that's kind of why I didn't want to get rid of it, really.
Yeah. But like now that Queen D2's happened, I'm just thinking of Yasser saying, where do you want to go, Queen? Or where do you want to go, Bishop? That's what he does. He just like doesn't really talk to his pieces, but does something like that. Queen B4.
Messing about now. Well, that was
partly... I don't care, though. You won. You won.
That was partly to give the bishop a...
Maybe that's why you won, Nick. Maybe that's what... Maybe the way you're playing is the reason you won. And your opponent was quite upset with this game. I heard something about your opponent was quite annoyed post the game.
Oh, no one likes losing, do they?
No, I don't. I lost just because I forgot about the opposite coloured rook square for my opponent's bishop, and my opponent was 2-5-60 or something playing on. I could have just sacked my bishop on his B pawn, and his H pawn would have been no good because it was a white square. I was black and it was a white squared bishop. And so it was a black square and I just completely was, it's my worst judgment on myself or on the game of late. So I have to watch that weakness myself. But anyway, that's me. But it's like, do you get times in chess where you just think, what's wrong with my judgment? What is actually happening with my judgment? Why didn't I just remember, I think
you go through
opposite
form,
colour bishop.
You do kind of go through form waves, I think, don't you? Sometimes you're in form and other times you're not in form. Your head's a bit cloudy.
Yeah. Well, it would be, like for you to win this game. Yeah, for you to win this game.
So I went back there again, and there's a very interesting lines here. I mean,
now knight f7.
Knight f6 looks F7 looks very scary. But
Yeah.
the computer actually recommends
Bishop F6.
sacking the bishop. It's very, very weird stuff. People can go on to can copy the link and go and check it out themselves, can't they? But
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
some amazing analysis of it that the computer comes up with. Black played F4 here. And
Yeah. And that's
the
saying no
computer
good.
doesn't like it, but to me it looked like a bloody strong move.
Yeah. And what do we reckon about knight F7? What do we think
I think sometimes you can't take too much into what the computers say because they're not sitting at the board, and like knight F7
We'll go Queen C1, I
doesn't
think.
work because of some strange move 10 moves down the track. But I mean, when two humans are playing, you're not going to. It's irrelevant, really, isn't it? What the computer thinks
So
of
knight
it
F7, what are we
during
going to
the
play
battle.
for? What are we going to play for white after knight F7 real quick?
I think the computer recommended H4, but
H4.
which looks ridiculous because what H4 does, it blocks in the retreat. And,
but we get that nice, if we get a pawn on G5, and then we got the bishop H3, haven't we? And pile up on the F5 pawn. And the E6
it's all very messy, isn't it? Especially when you consider
looks
that
like a computer, yeah.
I think he was down to less than half an hour of the whole game at this stage, and it's a very messy. But I think F4 looks a pretty reasonable move.
Yeah.
So, I can't see much.
They say bishop F6, bishop H6, bishop G7, bishop G5. But G4 is considered by the computer, but it doesn't mean that it's real. Not like a blunder of old where we lose a piece. We lose a piece, but it says it's a blunder as GF4. It says it's a blunder.
I took that one. I've created a. What did I do now? Oh, it doesn't like my move here.
Blunder.
Well, I thought it was okay because it creates an escape for the bishop anyway, doesn't it?
And the computer move is the hard one to see is H4 and Queen.
H4,
Queen
that's right.
G4.
Well, H4 here just looks like it loses a piece because black can play H6.
No, Queen G4. Yeah, well, that's what I think too. Yeah.
This is the line I was talking about. There's no way I'm going to play H4 in this position because it just looks like I lose and it's only about 10 moves time and the computer comes up with some miraculous escape for me, but I'd never in a million years spot myself. So.
Oh, yes, I know. Yes. I mean, I'm not going to play chess if it's just up to the computer to play. Now, here we got options, but you went bishop H4.
Yeah, I'm getting worried now. I'm getting...
Yeah, I can feel it.
It's looking bad. I think he was looking quite happy at this stage. I haven't really got many options.
Oh, you haven't got that option. No, you haven't.
I can't even take on E5 because he takes back with check, doesn't he? With
bishop F4 and then rook F4 and G5. You got if bishop.
Well, the computer thinks bishop F4, H4 was all right, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah, I know. But if we go Fe5, we've got bishop E5 check, and we're still hitting the bishop on G5. And if bishop F4, we've just got rook F4 and G5 because of the pin. So bishop H4.
No, he takes the pawn here, which I can't really take back.
Sorry about that. He takes the pawn there. Yeah, I don't think he can. So now it's a bit creepy, and it's
getting a bit scary now.
Yeah, it goes into territory for white losing. But you won this, so we don't really care. We love swindles. Everyone loves a swindle.
It wasn't a swindle.
The one that swindled.
It wasn't a swindle.
Well,
keep going a few moves.
I know. I'm just joking, sort of.
It's not that bad. It's very complicated still.
Yeah. Bishop e6, of course, and bishop f2, hugging the safe square on
Yeah.
f2.
Now he plays bishop e5,
Yeah.
and he's got kind of f3 type stuff coming. And
Yeah, white square bishop's doing a good job, though, isn't it?
yeah, at the moment it is.
And
Uh,
are you thinking of flicking your rook to c1, bc1?
yeah, well, you know I am. Right. So I
I've
played an
looked at the
extra
game.
moves.
Rook g1, 98
So
g,
now
96.
I'm starting to suffer now.
Yeah, can we get those pawns moving for black?
Yeah, play a couple more. Right, now here, stop it here. No, go back one. Right, stop it there. Now here, I was getting really worried because he's starting to get control over G4. He's got
Yeah,
H5 and G4 coming.
yeah.
And I'm going to be pretty much lost, I think, because he's going to get the H file. He's going to get the
And you don't
F3 is
want
going
the
to come
F3.
in.
You don't want to play Queen E2 with
I don't want to
F3
move my
check
bishop off F.
happening.
I don't want my bishop leaving F3 because I'm
No,
just going to get absolutely steamrolled. And then I started looking really deep in this position, and I saw
yeah,
that his big problem, if he has a problem, is the D4 square. I thought if I could, that
yeah,
bishop he's got is holding everything together.
yeah,
And I
I
thought,
agree.
well, how can I get rid of that bishop? And it looks like pretty impossible to get rid of it. And then I thought, if I could get a rook onto e6,
Yeah,
it would really stuff him up because it would be pretty. And I thought, there's no way I can do it. But I thought I'd try rook c1 and then try and get into c6.
yeah,
And if he just played his rook across here, rook to c8 or whatever,
yeah,
he'd have been a lot better off. But he was focused on attacking me. He obviously didn't see what was coming to him, which is what I hoped for when I played rook c1.
so he plays
And
H5. So
he
yeah,
played
it's sort of,
h5, so he's coming at me.
yeah, he is. And Queen H7 after that move as well is looking quite powerful, isn't
So
it?
he plays h5, and here I play rook c6,
Yes, I know.
and
And Queen H7.
suddenly he went into a big long feint and started to look a bit less happy about his position because rook e6 here. He
Yeah,
can't defend that bishop. He can't play queen c7 because I can
because of
play
rook
the other rook
C1.
to c1 and he loses the bishop.
Yeah,
He
I
can't really
concur.
move his bishop away. So
Because of
it's
Clunk.
difficult for him. And
No.
that rook on that line anyway is causing, even if I took the knight now with the rook, would ease my problems a lot,
So
So
we as
that
humans would
rook's so
consider,
powerful.
oh yeah, we as humans would probably consider that H5 is a mistake. It's a mistake,
Yeah. But
as Ben
G4 here
Feingold does.
is pretty good, but it's got a kind of a flaw to it, but it nearly wins, and a lot of lines it wins.
Oh
We
yeah,
looked at I looked at it with some people. I think Ralph Hart. I looked at this with afterwards,
yeah,
and G4 here looks pretty strong because it's threatening G3 check, forking my bishop and king, etc.
yeah,
And it's very difficult for white to defend, but there is a defense for white.
yeah.
But
And what's that?
it's not easy to find.
No.
I can't remember. We can't move the bits around here, can we? But
Well,
basically,
we
white
can
just
look.
takes on G3. It's like G4, bishop away, G3. White plays bishop takes, king away. Black gets. It's better than what he played anyway, because Queen H7 is too slow. He wants to play G4 still, doesn't he? But after that, but it's too slow.
We got 10 minutes to go, Nick. We got 10
Makes it
minutes to
quite
go.
easy for me. Okay, then. So play
We got 10
black's next
minutes.
move. Yeah,
Queen
and now
H7,
rook E6 now is
the move.
Queen
And
H7 was too slow.
if you want to sponsor me, anyone out there, to get Zoom, I'm probably going to look at buying it. Because I don't want to have time limits on my recording.
He made another slight error here. I think he had to go into defensive mode and play knight to D7 here instead of the rook. Or maybe he did play that. What did he play here? Oh no, he played his rook across. He should have played
rook B8.
D7, I think.
And we got the rook E5 and the bishop D4.
See, that rook on E5 is just had
pathetic.
it. He'd have been better off with the knight on E5. It's very difficult for him now.
Now it's very difficult because
he's had it
we've
now.
got pile-ups, Queen C3.
See, my plan, once I got rid of that bishop, it just shows what's happened. It's completely, it's completely stuffed now.
I agree. It's the pinnacle thing of the bishop. We've got moves like, even if rook G8, just rook G8 to E8, we've got this clunk.
Yeah, that's the one.
You know,
because he can't take back because the bishop takes F6.
Rook takes H5 check. You know?
Yeah.
And it's all of a sudden turned to custard.
It's very difficult. So he played knight D7, and I just took the pawn on H5.
Get rid of that. Yep, completely agree. And now he can take Queen G5 or Rook G5 after Rook G8 or Rook E8.
Yeah.
Now F3. That's that check that was worrying you before. That's gone. Huh?
Yeah, but Bishop's not there now, is it? But
no, it's a ghost move. It's like sort of like, I could have played F3. check. But now it's the rook on E5 isn't really checking the king if it is a bishop, because it's pinned. It's pinned to your king. You know, or to
probably resign. He could probably resign around now, couldn't he?
But, when I looked at it, I must admit,
I've got to be a bit careful. There's a couple of lines where he could play rook takes D5, and if I took back, I had to be careful of queen down to E2, but none of it really did very much. But,
your move is really nasty. I think your move is very nasty. Coming up is bishop G4. That's really nasty. That's just like it's kind of rubbing it in a wee bit. But the rook is pinned, and like I'm just thinking, well, I do here.
I think he should have just got out of him, but it's too late to do anything. But
no,
you've always got to be
what
careful
can we do?
With these sort of things. There wasn't much time left.
It's not good now.
We haven't got much time left either, have we? So we better get cracking on the rest of it.
Okay, so we got F2. Now it's just a deflection, but Nick just moves aside to the F1 cush and King H7. So that's now forcing, well, sort of like it is, isn't it? Bishop D7, and it's pretty nasty after Bishop E5. And here is soon where I looked at the final position. I thought, what? You won this, Nick. Your opponent resigned. Queen F2, and then we got King G8. And here is where I saw the position on when I was told that you beat FIDE master Leonard McLaren, who does actually coach chess online, and he's a very, very good chess player, obviously. And when I looked at this position at Lee Chess, or sharing it on Lee Chess, I didn't see this thing here, the rook. I didn't see the rook, so I thought, yeah, okay, is this all like there's still play here for black unless black's lost on time, but I didn't see the rook on G1. So anyway, I think that you can close this now. This meeting, you've got 5 minutes.
That was my so that rook C1 move that I played, and seeing that idea on of getting my rook to e6. I think that was the highlight of my tournament, because if I hadn't played that move, I think I would have gone on to lose that game, because I was just about to be completely crushed on the king side. And, so that kind of turned my tournament around, because I lost in the first round against Kalashko. And after that, it was all plain sailing. But I started to feel a bit ill on the Wednesday. I thought I was coming down to a cold. I've noticed so many people were coughing on the second day. I asked for a mask, because no one at the start was really wearing masks. Few of the Asian players were, but most people weren't. And I had 2 quick draws. I think it was against Tony Dowden and Ralph Hart on the Wednesday. I just didn't, my brain wasn't really working. I think Tony played a birds opening against me, and I didn't know any theory, and I was just kind of going along with it. But I just didn't feel up to it, really. And then on the Thursday, I started feeling a bit dodgy. Well, it's a Wednesday night. That was a Tuesday, wasn't it? Tuesday. Then Wednesday we had the Blitz, and I lost the first 4 games in the Blitz. I was on 0, I think. 0 out of 4. And then I won the last 5 games. Come back and finish 8th in the Blitz. So that was pretty good as well.
Oh, good.
But my brain just wasn't working. So I went outside and ran around the forecourt, and then came back and won 5 in a row. So if my brain had been working when I started it, it might have been a better result in the Blitz. But
on the Wednesday night, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then Thursday morning I woke up and I felt absolutely terrible. I actually had a dream that I had COVID, and then I woke up and I felt like I did have bloody COVID. And I ran into a reception to get a rat test. I didn't want to wait until after 10 o'clock, because I would have been defaulted and lost rating points and everything. So I had to do it all before 10 o'clock. If I'd played Gary, I would have been beaten for sure. Because
you had COVID,
yeah. I mean, I just didn't feel right. Even if I didn't have COVID, it was just a cold. But it would have been bad. I was talking to him, Gary, the night before, about, because I played him. Well, I didn't play him, but I played his team, because he used to play for Paignton down in Devon, and I used to play for Camborne in Cornwall. And his team came down to play us, and we were outrated heavily on every single board. But you had to travel like 60 miles to play us, and then they were given glasses of wine when they arrived, which was, of course they're drunk, and then we absolutely thrashed them. So I was reminding of that on the Wednesday, but I never got to play him on the Thursday, so it was a bit disappointing. I'd much rather have not had COVID and finish the tournament off. But it was still a very good tournament for me, kind of 7 rounds. My performance rating was about 2,160, I think. So that was all right.
So we got a minute. We've got a minute and 20. So I want you to say your goodbyes, and I'm just going to leave the screen up here like this.
Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed looking at the game, people. And
I did.
Looking forward now to the New Zealand champs at Christmas, because I think I'm going to start playing in more tournaments now. I've got the bug again. I tend to play for a year or so, then I give up, and then I start playing again. But I think I'm back now, because now COVID's finished. I've been cooped up indoors for like 2 years because of COVID. And I get let out to play chess again. What happens? I get bloody COVID. But it's getting me out and about again after being all those lockdowns, etc. So I expect to be playing in a lot more tournaments. Whether I'll be playing at the chess club or not is a different matter, because at Canterbury they don't start the games until about 8 o'clock at night, which to me is far too late. You're lucky to get home by midnight some nights at the chess club. And I noticed, looking around at other chess clubs around the country, they do start a lot earlier. So
okay, well, we're going to go now.
Canterbury, as a little hint there, that I want something done about that. So okay then, bye everybody, and nice talking to you, David.